Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Coaches on Shameless Explorations. Um, I'm here with my friend Jillian Windsor today, and we were just having some silly technical difficulties, and I didn't realize we were going live because it said it wasn't going to. So,
Yeah.
hi.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, let me tell you all a little bit about Jillian. Um, Names. Okay. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Jillian and her background, and then we'll get into talking with her and see what she's got to share with us today. Um,
So excited.
yes. Jillian is a powerhouse, and she brings more than. I added that part.
I like it.
And
Keep
yeah,
going.
so I'm actually just going to read this about Jillian because I did not memorize anything, and you're welcome. I want to get it right. So, Jillian brings more than 30 years' experience guiding professional
Mm,
women on their journey to become successful entrepreneurs and executives. She specializes in showing women how to stand in their authority and lead from their
yes.
feminine power. Yay.
Yes.
She is a speaker and author, and her latest release is the Ascendant Woman Wisdom Card Deck, which we'll be playing with today. And it's a spirited guide to passion, confidence, and effective action.
Yeah. The action's really important.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about yourself, Jillian?
Well, let me see. Um, so, as you mentioned, I've been working with professional women for most of my life in one form or another. And my heart has always been in the realm of empowerment and transformation. So, currently, my clients range from founders to vice president, vice presidents. So I have a wide range, and what I found mostly is what they tend to do. They'll be very strong in one area, like all of us. We've got things handled in one area, but we're not so strong in other areas. And the biggest one I find of all is really speaking up and asking for what they want. It's like it seems so simple, but those are the stumbling blocks. And another trap that I find women right across the board will fall into is playing to be liked rather than respected. It's very
Mm-hmm.
different. So yeah, I love my clients with a passion. They're courageous women. They have huge hearts, and they learn to learn, love, grow, and trust themselves at a core level. It's an inner game. It's an inner job. So that I've been doing in one form or another. I worked with the Coaches Training Institute for, oh gosh, about 14, 15 years. And that's, at the time, there were just two coach training organizations in the US. One was Coach U and the other was Coaches Training Institute. And I was one of the first 20 trainers that got hand selected to join them.
Wow.
And that was just such an incredible time of leading workshops in different parts of the world. Um, I was a supervisor for coaches in training. I was an examiner, and I held curriculum and trained trainers to lead the curriculum. So I had this vast range of experience, and plus I was my own business and company as well. I was part of a $40 million initiative with with TSA, and that was when they did a huge rechange of, instead of treating passengers as the enemy, they did a huge mind shift and started to see how they could engage passengers to help them catch the bad guys or
Hmm.
girls. So that we trained from highest, actually from the top man himself at the time, right down to the person who was just been in the company for 6 weeks, and they would be in. It didn't matter what status they were at within the organization. They were all in like a one-room schoolhouse, and it leveled the playing field. And it was
Mm,
such exciting work. And then we started to train the trainers to do that in-house.
mm.
And so that's why, for the most part, when you go through TSA now, security, you are treated with like hello. So instead of like, "Ugh." So
Thanks for changing that
yeah,
reality.
you're welcome. I'm really proud of that.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
I have a question. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that it's inner work.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, of course, I know that anybody who comes into any kind of coaching modality, any kind of that kind of career, who is wanting to put their self forward and support people, they come from a background where they needed that themselves. So,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
tell me and
Yeah.
tell us how you came to this work and a little bit of your
Yeah.
backstory?
Yeah. Um, I've always been an adventurer. And, you maybe can tell by my accent now that I wasn't actually homegrown in the US. I come from the UK and lived in many, many places within the UK. And I learned very quickly how to adapt to different situations, different scenarios. It was both undermining in a lot of ways my confidence, but also grew me as a person who understood different that underneath the bonnet we're all the same. We all want to be loved at some level. We all have our issues and problems. One of the biggest things I think I found was that there wasn't really anybody I could talk to who didn't stand in judgment of me or tell me to sort of suck it up or make some comment. And I thought that was really strange. I was an only child until my brother was born, but by that time I was 8 years old and I was a grown up
Mm-hmm.
in my world. Um, and so I had a natural, just because of my family of origin, I had a natural tendency to want to look deeper. I used to creep up on people to see what they were talking about. Because I used to think if they were so engaged in something, they must know something that was so important. And I wanted to know it. And I'd creep up on them and I'd spy on them and listen. And they would be talking about the price of potatoes. And I would go, oh, no, they don't know. And I didn't know what they didn't know, but I knew there had to be something than the price of potatoes. So
Mm-hmm.
this is just the kickstart of my life. Um, and then really, it was just a natural progression, my own spiritual journey. I went through the guru. Sorry, I've got a big hair sticking in my eye, and it's annoying me.
Yeah.
Um, and I learned a lot of my own spiritual place and my place within the universe from that experience. I've always been a seeker. I think that's really the bottom line. And I still seek, and I still listen, and I still study on that spiritual level and that psychological level. And I really do follow what has heart and meaning. Because otherwise, the influences, what I learned very early on, the influences of the world and its projection onto us can have such a profound impact that it causes so much suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew from fighting myself, my own self, fighting my way through that kind of stuff. And I had some really good teachers and guides. And I have to say that I think I studied holistic psychotherapy in the UK, which is very body centered as well as the psychology. I did a lot of body work and energy work stuff. I have a huge background in cranial sacral therapy and all sorts, all sorts. Um, and I just kept going deeper and deeper into the realms that you can't actually see.
Mm-hmm.
That just because there's this is not who I am. This is not who you are. There's such a magic and mystery with each one of us. And I've got goosies because it's like that's who I want to communicate with. That's who
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in conversation with myself, within myself, and with you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of conversation I have with my clients.
Drawing out their real self.
Drawing, yes, and having them recognize it. See, that's the piece. We kind of know this aspect of ourselves, but so often we don't believe it. We'll just brush it aside because
Right,
there's,
it's so hard for us to see it
say
of
again?
ourselves. It's so hard for us to see it ourselves because what I find is that we're picking up
Yes.
on everybody else's projections
Yes.
and hiding it from
Yes.
ourselves, even.
Yes. Yes. And so I did a lot of workshops, trainings. I studied NLP, neuro linguistic programming, master NLP. When I went into things, I would dive right in, like all the way, and just chew it up and just really devour it. I studied that for years, and I was part of trainings. I was back of the room. I was helping. I was coaching. And so that was just me peeling the layers off me. I've
Mm-hmm.
been in therapy. I've always had a coach. Ever since I started with coaching, always
Mm-hmm.
had a coach. I'm like constant. And so Laura Whitworth, she was the original founder. She was the one that sort of really started the impetus of the Coaches Training Institute, along with Henry House and Karen Kimsey. Henry and Karen married, and together the three of them created the Coaches Training Institute. And for me, Laura, her thing was once she realized what this thing called coaching was, that having somebody by your side, that's on your side,
Mm-hmm.
that's really with you, that her thing when somebody sat down and asked her what she wanted, it was like a revelation. We're going back like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was a revelation. And she realized that every person needs to have this. They need to have somebody in their lives that is really going to be holding their highest self. And so I'm an advocate for that. So that's why I do the work I do. I can't not do this work. I cannot not do it. It's really painful to be a friend of mine because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, and it's not that I'm going to coach you. It's just that I'm like, and I'm open to having it back. It's
Right.
like,
I
wait a
think that's
minute,
why I
Jillian.
don't have very many friends, Jillian.
Yeah, I do have a big mouth sometimes, I have to say.
I can relate.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all one of the things I offer my clients is to really get clear about what their soul purpose, their life purpose is. And mine is shattering illusion to reveal the heart.
Mm.
And that sums up everything that I've ever done and that I will continue to do. And that's within myself, my beautiful husband, Craig.
Isn't it so hard to be a husband of one of us? Craig, if you're there, I get it. I get it.
I don't, he's in his office. He's
Okay,
doing his own thing.
that's funny.
It's true, though. It's true. It's true. God bless his cotton socks, darling.
Yes, give us some of that UK.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what came out. So
Yeah, yeah, great. So, so with your clients, you already kind of talked about some of their biggest
yeah,
challenges, like asking. That's something that I find so much. It's not okay to ask for what you want. You know,
that's the illusion,
isn't
right?
it crazy that we have to be told, or
Yes.
like that it's okay?
Yes.
It's okay
Yes.
for you to have a want or need or desire and
Yes.
speak it.
Yes.
And if you do, you might actually receive it.
Yes. So one of the cards,
Yeah.
one of
Oh,
the
let me intro those first. Look. Okay, so we're here to play with these what are they called? Ascendant Woman Wisdom deck
is
that
some,
Jillian.
yeah.
They're so beautiful. Where am I going with my camera here? They're so beautiful. They're so pretty. Jillian, they're in my color palette.
Yes, they're gorgeous.
Deck
Gorgeous.
cards. And this is your newest creation.
Yes.
So I actually am not big on decks.
Are you not?
Um, I'm not actually. I have one other abundance deck that a coach
Uh-huh.
of mine sent me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so this is my second one. And so for those
I'm
who are
so
new, will you just
happy.
tell us about this deck and what it means to you, what you
Yes.
created it
Yes.
for, and
Yes.
and um, and maybe how to use it for people who don't
Yes.
have decks.
Yes. I I I want to come back to that thing because there is a card in the deck that is
Perfect.
all about knowing what you want. So
Yeah.
we'll put that on the side and
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's a really important piece um, to our lives. So yes, the Ascendant Woman Wisdom deck. Oh my God. I actually have been a card deck fiend for a long time. I have, this one is one that I've got. It's by, gosh, why can't I remember her name? Anyway, I'll remember it later. But that is something else that I've dabbled in, and it's just something that's always been there for me. And one of the reasons is because I didn't have a coach, right? I didn't have that sounding board, that person who would actually hold my agenda and without judgment. And so I would go to cards. It was just
Mm,
something naturally there for me, and I would use cards to kind of help clear my mind, get a different perspective, um, get insight, find ways to come at a situation in a new way. And so there was always something revealing, and it would either yes. So they've always played a part in my life. So I am a card fiend. Um,
I have so many friends who just have like piles and piles of different decks, and I'm
yeah.
like,
Wow.
what?
Yeah, I've had lots of different types, but because I
What am I
move so
missing?
much, I have to kind of like, okay, let's move on. Let's invite something new. So I have
Hmm.
about 3 or 4 decks. Mine is one of them. Um, so there's always been in the back of my mind to do a card deck, but the push has been, Jill, when are you going to write that book? When are you going to write the book? And it's like, oh, I don't want to write a book. I don't want to. It just seems like hard. So guess where I need some work, right? So then a friend, a colleague, somebody I knew years ago, actually, who I met at the Coaches Training Institute, who is a product content maker and works with lots of different coaches and has a coaching an online, it's called Coaching Toy Store,
Mhm.
um, sent out an email that said something to the effect of, why why write a book when you could create a card deck? And I went, oh, that's me. So she did a 10-week course, and I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. I just knew there was something that wanted to come forward. And so went through her process and did several iterations of it. And this is what came out.
Mm.
This card deck is everything that it is my book. I've got more space now to write a book, but it is everything. It's my program, my Ascendant Woman Leadership Program. Um, it is content that has been created over the years that I and actually Craig and I have written. We've got masses of content
Mm.
all over the place. And what my clients say, it's like taking me home in their pocket.
Yay.
So it was actually a dream that came true, and I had been pushing it back. You know, it's like, oh, I don't know, but this opportunity came, and I jumped in, and so it's for all my clients. Their wisdom is in here. Their hearts are in this card deck, um, and me getting over myself is in this card deck,
There
and
is so
really.
much of you in this card deck. When I read through one, I'm like, I can hear this coming out of her right now. I hear it in your voice. It's so beautiful. A swift kick in the ass sometimes.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes. It's some of it is like but it's always with heart. It's always with love. But it's, sometimes it's like a swift kick up the bum, right?
Yeah, sometimes we need that kind of love.
Yeah, we do. We do. So I don't know if that answered it fully, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's it's been a
so
great journey.
I asked you also to say how to do them.
Hmm.
Um, because so what I do with a card deck is I just kind of like get in the space of what's up with
Yes.
me, and then
Yes.
I pick up, like maybe open the deck, take one, fan them out, grab one out,
Yes.
and I just go with that first one that I
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful. I do that too. That's the way I do it.
cool.
There are so many different ways that you can lay them out, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the most important thing is to just get centered.
Mm.
Right? Clear your mind and really get to, and we're back to that question of, what do I want? And
Oh yeah, that's
sometimes,
fun. Yeah, I
yeah,
just when you were talking, I actually opened up the deck and grabbed a card. So
yeah,
I am so curious to see which one you got for what do
yes.
we want, and which then I'll read which one I got for what like.
Okay. Well, I pulled one earlier. I'm going to
Okay,
read that
cool.
one
Yay.
because this was the collective. This is for all of us that are here and whoever's going to see this. So the cards always start off with "Dear One."
Mhm.
I like that.
It's so you. It's so you. That's like okay, Jillian's here.
Here's a thought for you. You are the dancer. This lifetime is your dance, and the whispers of your heart is the music. Listen, connect, move to the rhythm of your own life pulse. When you are present in the moment and in connection with what has heart and meaning, energy will flow in the direction of what you want. Is that what you want again?
Yes.
How you manage your thoughts, where you put your focus, and what action you put your attention on moves energy and will always be reflected in the results you get. What will you create with your newly amplified aliveness?
Yay.
Yeah.
I love how it like ends with a question.
Yeah. Hmm.
Get you thinking and feeling and
Yeah.
really in that for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
what, thank you. What did you pull?
Okay. So it says, it's so funny because, okay, dear one, you get to want what you want. Ask for what you want and negotiate the difference. What do you want that you haven't given yourself permission to ask for?
Yeah.
What are your non-negotiables?
Yeah.
Remember, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Isn't that perfect for like what we're doing? Card decks are so much fun
They
sometimes.
are, they are, they are, they really are.
And this is like a weekend coaching assignment. You could
Exactly.
take this for a month and coach
Yes.
yourself with it. That's pretty deep, Jillian.
Yes. Yes. And that's exactly a beautiful way to use them. I have one client who, um, all my clients get a card deck. I mean, it's just, they do, of course.
I want all my clients. I'm going to order my clients a card deck from you.
Cool. Fantastic. Yes, yes, yeah. That make fabulous gifts. Fabulous gifts.
Perfect.
Um, yes, and so the card she pulled, and it so happened that when they shuffled the deck again, her daughter pulled the same card. So it was the card about happy. Like you get to be, I can't remember the exact words to it. It didn't come up. But, and it was all about happiness. And that happiness is this choice right here, right now. So it was such a double, it was like hearing it in stereo because she pulled it, they shuffled the deck, they shuffle, 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 shuffle. And then her daughter went and picked it up as well. And during this time of COVID, my client was, they're staying together. The two of them are living together. So what grew out of that is that they've turned their home into this sanctuary, into this spa-like sanctuary. They ordered all these candles. I mean, they went to town, and they even, I'm going to show it to you. There's a book on the Danish secrets to happy living. They found this book, Huga. I think you pronounce it Huga, and it's all about. So they did a whole bunch of stuff from this book, all from one of those cards, and
Hmm.
they started to absolutely shift their lives around. So that was exciting.
Yeah, so actually,
That one card.
yeah, what I'm learning by playing with your deck actually is that when you're stuck in a space, just pulling a
Mm,
card. If you have no other resource, but you
yes,
have a card deck, go pull a card
yes,
and take some direction from it.
yes,
Discover what
yes,
that means to you, whatever card you pull.
yes, yes,
That's
and
fun.
yes, yeah. And sometimes,
And a really quick way to get
yeah,
unstuck.
it is, it is, it is. You get to really have a different perspective on things.
Hmm.
Maybe you just need a little bit of encouragement. Because again, coming back to, we do know there is nothing anybody out there can tell you about you. You do know you. But we get so influenced, like you were saying, Holly, we get so influenced by the world around us that that can tune out our own inner wisdom. So I like to think of these cards as you tuning into your ascendant wise self,
Mm.
and that she, because it's a feminine power, because I'm all about bringing feminine power forward, and that's for men too. I'm really about it for men too, and I know that a lot of the guys that you know, Holly, are really working on that with themselves and with their clients too. And so it's a both and, but I had it for women because that's who I work with mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is really trusting our own our own wisdom, our own inner selves. We have that, but we get cluttered with all the other stuff. So
Beautiful.
that's another piece. So I was wondering, what do you think, Holly? Is anybody out there that would like to kind of play a little bit with
So
us?
I'm gonna refresh. At the
Okay.
moment, I'm not seeing anybody on live. Um, so why can you pull a card for like
Yeah.
maybe just the energies of the world, the
Yes. Yes. What's your query? Let's do it from there. The energies of the world, like let's for the folks who will come on, who might be on, who may listen to this later.
Mhm.
Let's what's the wisdom that we all could enjoy right now that will support our movement forward? How does that sound?
Yes. So just to speak to what energies, because this is going to be a timeless thing
Yes.
on different sites. So
Yes.
the energies that are up in this current moment are our presidential election is being questioned for fraud. It's been built up for months and months that it's going to be a fraudulent election, and now it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
COVID is getting promoted as high, like it's worse. So it's
Mm-hmm.
getting worse here in the States. And so those are kind of the energies, and everybody's scared. There's a lot of fear.
Scared.
There's a lot of fear because there's a lot of unknown.
Yes.
So those are the
There
energies
is.
I'm speaking to that we can pull a card and
Yes.
see what insight it has.
Yes.
And I pulled one. I just kind of like, here's what I did. Here's what I
Yeah.
did for the first one. I
Yeah.
just opened it up
Yeah.
and grabbed it.
Yeah.
And then I closed. I haven't shuffled it yet. I just got
Yeah.
it out of the mailbox yesterday.
That's so great.
But so while you're going through your process with
Yeah.
it, I'll read the one that I pulled, if that's okay.
Yes, please do. Love it.
Okay. Dear one, here's a way for you to plug into happiness super fast. Is this the one your friends pulled?
I pulled exactly the same one.
I love it. Psychic women.
I tell you, and I shuffled and shuffled, and
I
I
saw
split the
you. I
deck
saw
three
you.
times.
I'm like, you be in your process. I'm gonna
But
have
I
fun.
love it.
You read it then in your voice.
Okay.
Because this is how I want everybody to hear all of the cards
Yeah.
from your voice.
Yeah. Dear one, here's a way for you to plug into happiness super fast. Bring your senses alive. They're your antenna for interpreting the world of vibration around you. Touch fabrics and flowers, smell and slowly taste your food. Listen for the sounds that please you. Notice the blends of color that attract you. Pay attention to what your gut and body are signaling. When it comes to determining your path to happiness, if you aren't following your own sensory rhythms, whose are you following? Senses on.
That is so in line.
Yeah, we are in charge of our own happiness here because it's a bit of a shitstorm out there.
Yeah,
To
in
put
every
it.
given moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. 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 And for me, again, happiness is an inside job. I mean, I, one of the things, and it's a tough one to play with, but it ties into this, is to have a perspective that, well, first of all, touching, smelling, tasting brings us back to ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just really enjoying the juiciness of a peach or whatever it is, like licking ice cream, you know, cream on our bodies, oil on our bodies,
It's
just
winter, like the not here, not in Arizona, but I mean the soft blankets.
yes, 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 and just all the things. Those are the signals of something that is telling you this is an aspect of you. Like, in a way, what you're touching, what turns you on, what really lights you up, pay attention to that, because that is you speaking to you.
Mm.
Bring more of that into your life. Have that. This is you seeing and feeling and experiencing a reflection of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, when
Like,
that thing makes you happy and turns you on,
yeah,
follow that. You mean if
yes,
follow
yes,
that, will we have more of that?
follow that, follow that. And when, like, if you see a flower that just captivates you, really pay attention to the details. Like, what are the characteristics? What
Mm.
is it about that flower that is really captivating for you? And write that down, write those characteristics down, and then look in the mirror and say that about yourself. Put the you in, put the I am in. I am sensual. I am yellow. I am golden. I am whatever the it is, and that's the way, because you wouldn't be attracted to it if it wasn't some kind of aspect of
Mm.
you. So that's one way to use them.
So I'm gonna do
Um,
a little bit of a polarity thing right there.
yeah, please.
Because what's happening right now is that there's turmoil, right? And
Yes,
so what people are focusing on,
yes.
so the energy of what Jillian was just talking about, there was a sensual component to it,
Mm-hmm.
a really lovely component. And now when we see what's going on in the world and put some energy, like put some just let's look at it. There's fear, there's
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, there's
Mm-hmm.
unknown, and people are
Mm-hmm.
stressing, like they're buying up the toilet paper again,
Right.
coming from a place of panic, and I don't know what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
so I got to do something.
Yeah.
They're like, so what they're doing is putting the energy into the fear.
Exactly. Exactly. They are. That's exactly what they're doing.
And
Do you
so
have a
with this,
question? Yeah.
go ahead.
No, do you have a question there? Is there?
No, no, I was
Oh,
just pointing that out with the polarity.
yes.
And
Yes.
so if you're watching this later, just get the sense. I just want to invite everybody who's watching because you did such a great example of showing the like how to follow the card in this direction.
Yes.
And when you're in this space of choosing from panic,
Yes.
choosing from fear, choosing from something that's
Yes.
making you unhappy, remember that if you put the energy in that direction, you get more of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and that might be a good time if you notice yourself in it to pull a card.
Yes.
Call a
Yes.
friend or get a
Yes.
coach.
Or both.
Yeah, all of it. Then you can start to notice. Like what I like to do with these videos, with this invitation,
Yeah.
is actually just to really look at these things that are showing up and how we can
Yeah.
play with them. Like the card deck is seriously get so much out of just that one that I read before,
Yeah,
or the one that you read. Like, it's an entire coaching
it
session
is.
in a card.
It is.
So that's amazing, Jillian. And I just want to share that part so that
Thank
people
you.
could like get how deep it
Yeah.
can go
Yes.
in one direction or the other. And it's just
Yes.
your choice that creates that.
Exactly. That's a beautiful way of saying it. Thank you. I
Hmm.
love that you brought that piece forward. It's you're absolutely right. And so who's if they're not your rhythms, whose rhythms are you following?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's pay attention to that. We have one thing that we talk about, like, whose dreams are you living? Whose promises are you keeping? So it falls in line with that too. Who are you listening to?
Whose pain are you holding in your body?
Whose pain are you
I'm
holding?
gonna speak to that one because
Oh,
pain in my
mama.
ass recently.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Guys, we
Yeah.
coaches are not above it. We have
No,
our
no, no, no.
and
Coaches need coaches.
yes, coaches have coaches.
Yeah. Gotta keep looking, gotta keep and it's not so here's a distinction I want to make as well. This is not about fixing. We are
Hmm.
not broken. I'm sorry. I don't fall into that category. Nobody needs fixing. What we need is the space and the breath and the heart to be able to really come back into ourselves and realize our own truth. And
Hmm.
that's a risky business because so often we do play to be liked rather than respected. And we want to be accepted into the group. We want to be part of something. And we'll sacrifice aspects of ourselves
Hmm.
to do that. And that's where we start to really, that's where the fear comes in, because there's a big space that we've left. And then the fear will fall in there and fill in
Yes.
that. And so we come back to ourselves and, you know, if they're not your rhythms, then come back to that. Because your rhythm is not based in fear. I promise it is not based in fear. You're stronger, you're bigger than any of that.
One saying I love that goes along with that is you're not nearly as fucked up as you think you are.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All that stuff that you make up in your head about yourself is not true.
Right? Unless you really want it to be. My
And
daughter says all the time, "Oh, this is gonna be awkward." I'm like, "If you make it
if
awkward."
you, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now she says it to me. "Oh, it's gonna hurt. If you make it hurt."
Is is that where you want to focus your
Right.
energy? Yeah, shut up.
Right. Thank you,
Thank
daughter.
you for sharing. I
Yeah.
love it. Ah. Oh,
You,
so here's the card I just turned over. Can I read this one?
yes.
Dear one, you are the complete package.
It must be my
Within,
card.
yes, it is, it is. Within you is all the power to create, nurture, and transform your experience and your life. Seriously, I just picked it up and, like you did before, just like, oh,
Yep.
book, oh, look. Don't believe me? Take a look at your life right now. Know that, for better or worse, you created it. Ooh, little
Ouch
edgy,
times.
edgy, edgy. What do you love? What makes you smile? What areas need your particular brand of tweaking and polishing? Time to get out your influence dusters and focus and polish up your creations so they meet your satisfaction. Get your influence dusters out, ladies and gentlemen.
That's beautiful. That's perfect, you know?
Hmm.
Really time for that. Like, hmm. Wait, we created it?
Yeah, it's a tough one to take on sometimes, like, but there's huge power in it. There's huge power in it.
There is, I mean, just knowing if you can really look around and be like, okay, I created this.
Yeah.
It may suck when you look at it, but if you created something that sucks that bad without putting any intention into it, it just
Mm-hmm.
happened or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then what could you create if you actually put your focus and attention?
Yeah. And
Yes.
this, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Get out your influence dusters and stop polishing away.
Oh, okay. I'm going to read one that I just pulled. And I just shuffled my deck for the first time.
Ooh, nice.
So let's see what influence I have to dust on there.
Yeah.
Dear one, are you falling for the negative jibber jabber in your head? Whispering shoulda, woulda, and couldas to yourself that slump your shoulders and sap your energy? It's time to straighten your spine, hold your head high, blow some raspberries, and shake your body until it vibrates with life. Remember, you're an ascendant woman on a mission to create a remarkable career in
Mm.
life. Go bite it, sister. Kinky!
I'm all about biting.
I'm
What
seeing
does
some of
that
your
say?
blueprints today, Jillian.
Yeah. What does that speak to for you? That
For
card.
me,
Mm.
mm, so we all get so in our
Mm-hmm.
heads.
Mm-hmm.
So in our heads. Like I keep seeing posts like, okay, what are you going to do now if COVID locks us all down?
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's like an invitation because people are
Mm-hmm.
actually seeing like, okay, there was an opportunity that I had being in my house, having a break from work, and maybe I didn't take
Mm-hmm.
it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there's an invitation to being something greater. But then there's
Yeah.
also those voices that are like, well, I should have done this, I should have done that. And then we
Yeah.
turn into guilt and shaming ourselves,
Yes.
shaming each other. Well, you should have learned this during, like,
Oh,
you should
right.
have cleaned your
Right.
house. You should
Right.
shaming ourselves and each other. And there's what it brings up for me is like that there's a difference in an invitation
Mm-hmm.
and the guilting and shaming that we do
Yeah.
in
The
our in
shoulding. Yeah.
what this does is opens up an invitation for me instead of what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, like actually what would I like to do?
Yes. Yes.
And now I
Yeah.
get it. Okay, if I just like shake all that out of my head, now what can I have space to choose
Yeah.
instead of like a have
Yeah.
to kind of thing.
Yeah. That's
I like
beautiful.
I like to share with my clients like what are your have tos? I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you say,
Yeah.
I have to do this?
Yeah.
I have to do that. And
Yeah.
what if you got to?
Yeah.
What are your get tos?
What do you want? We're back to what do you
Hmm?
want?
Yep.
And you've got to know what you want
Hmm.
before you can want what you want. Or there's a whole formula here that I use with my clients.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you want? And it's like, I don't know. So it's the place to start. And
Hmm.
then wanting what you want is it's huge because that's where you can get pushed off your perch.
Hmm.
Like, what do you want that for? That doesn't seem right. It could be the jibber jabber in your head or what you make up other people are going to say about it.
Hmm.
And then asking for what you want. Oh, that's where the rubber meets the road, isn't it? Because
Yes.
now you really have to want what you want to be able
Be
to
willing to
ask.
receive what you want.
That's the whole other piece. Yes. And
There's layers,
yeah,
everybody.
yes,
There's
layers
so
all the way down. And there's asking for what you want because then that means that you are going to want what you want and then you're going to have to receive it. And then it's in the cycle. So do you really want this?
Mm-hmm.
Are you really willing to risk asking for it? And then what if it's a no?
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to negotiate the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. So, is there anything else that you would like to pull for?
um, I think I'll just pick a card to see what message the collective wisdom wants to share.
Mm.
See what it says. Oh, okay. See what you think of this. Dear one, yesterday is done and gone. Tomorrow is a dream. The power of now is yours to harness. Allow yourself to experience the preciousness of your breath and the life that lives in you and through you in this moment now. Stay in the beauty of this energy that loves you so much it breathes and sustains you. When you take action from here, you summon and harness the generative force of the universe. This is how you create more of what has heart and meaning for you. All is well.
Mm.
I think that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
Yeah.
one. Thank you. You know,
Oh, thank
uh,
you.
usually at the end of my interviews, I
Yeah.
ask, what is one thing that you'd like to leave the viewers with?
Yeah.
One tool, one that, and it's usually breath. So I just wanted to say that because this is like take a breath and be here in the
Take
now
a breath. Yes.
and
Yes.
enjoy this moment. Because if we're in this moment, then we're not fearing like the unknown of tomorrow. It's like in this moment, I'm safe in my chair talking to a friend.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
moment, I'm walking down the street seeing a sunset. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's not where's the fear in it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
beautiful,
thank you.
Holly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. And, for anybody that's watching or who um, will be watching, to really know that we're here.
Hmm.
We we know what it's like to be a woman in these bodies. To be this feminine power, to and to walk this path. So reach out, lean in, and
Yes. How do people lean into you? How can they find you?
yeah, well, so if anybody wants to buy the deck, go to ascendantwomanwisdom.com, and
Mm,
that will take them right there. If they would like to contact me, then it's rising at ascendantwomanwisdom.com.
mm. Beautiful. Um, will you go on afterwards and put those links in the Facebook,
Yes,
please?
yes, I will. I will.
Great. Thank you
I
so
will.
much. Thank you so much
Oh,
for coming on and playing with me today and
this is
sharing your wisdom and your beautiful deck.
thank you, Holly, for the opportunity and for being so alive and present and supplying this opportunity for people to really step in, and whether it's the coaches that you interview or the ones who come to listen, that you're creating this beautiful space for people to learn, love, grow, and change, and feel better about themselves in one way or another,
Thank
and
you.
and know that all is well.
All is well. And if it's
Yeah,
not, it can be.
yeah,
If it's not
yeah,
in this moment, it absolutely can
yeah,
be.
yeah.
I've been in the not so well, guys.
Oh yeah, you and I shared a lot of pain together.
I'm actually sitting in my wheelchair
Are you,
right
darling?
now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, okay, so not because it's not well at this moment,
No, no.
but because I learned when it wasn't well and I couldn't walk and I needed this, that this is the most comfortable chair in my house.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So now it's
Beautiful.
become a great thing, a great support for me, and it's so comfortable.
Yeah.
And, but it's not always well.
Yeah.
And if it's not now,
It,
follow that energy, like Jillian was
yeah.
explaining earlier, and it can be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
It is the pulse of your heart. So,
Mm,
yeah. I love
yeah,
you, my darling, and I
I love
thank you
you.
so much.
Yes. Okay. So, um, I am Holly Lotus. I don't know if I said that in the beginning today.
I
Hi,
don't think
everybody.
you did.
I'm Holly Lotus. And if you would like to reach me, I'm at shamelessexplorations@gmail.com. And
Beautiful.
Shameless Explorations on Facebook. If you're seeing this somewhere else, then come and play in the group,
Mm.
or just drop a line. And please find all of the coaches and all of the resources and do what you will with it to live your most
Yeah.
pleasurable life.
Yes. Mm.
See you all next time.